Okay, look, cell phones are a very sticky situation for parents.
Yeah, it really is. Hayden and Jaden wanted one. Woo! Me and CJ were like, ah. I remember that. It was a whole thing.
It was a whole thing.
Yeah, girl, it's fine.
Laura, Christian's just absolutely too young for that expensive phone now. Come on, let's open other gifts.
Yeah, I'm sorry, Christian.
So, we can go back and forth if we want to about the Laura versus Calvin and Miranda stance on Christian's cell phone. But I think that a lot of us can come together and agree on this, because I've been looking at the comments and good grief, there have been a lot of comments on the first two videos I did about the subject, the episode review itself, and then like the 20-minute video about whether or not Laura was wrong in purchasing the phone. And this is just one of those things where a backup choir or echo chamber can make things a lot worse. Now, some people are like, oh, you're taking this too personally. I can relate to this scenario because the thing was, when I was younger, we would always go down to my grandma's house. And look, I don't know what it is, but maybe some of you can relate. But it's just something about the dad side of the family that just doesn't sit well. It's like a whole, I don't know. I grew up in a family where me and my sister were treated as less than compared to our other cousins and whatnot. So let me just say that this video, and when I talk about this particular subject, it's not coming from a place of hurt, but more so a place of relatability. Just to put that into perspective now. So the thing was, hey, come down on Christmas. And, they all go in the living room, sit in the floor or the chairs or whatever. And everybody would open gifts and everything. And it was not uncommon because, there almost every family has that bougie relative and whatnot. And, there will be some people who get more grander gifts than others and whatnot, but at least you get something sometimes. But when it comes down to it, I just hate the echo chamber. By that, I mean, if you are discussing something with another person, that should be between the two of you. But when you have other people chiming in either support of one person or, disagreeing with them, that's not your business. And this situation, you could look around. I think like first it was, like Ella, and I think even Janine and Jasmine, essentially when it was hey, you can't have the phone, give it back. That's it. And Laura didn't understand what was going on. And look, like I said, check out the 20-minute video I did about Laura as to whether or not she was right or wrong about the phone. One point I made in the video was that a lot of people in my episode review were like, hey, you know what, Jeremy? Laura should have talked to the parents first. Who talked to her first? Nobody. And I get it. You cannot really have it. It is difficult to have a real conversation with Laura without her blowing up or anything. But I'm talking about, for the sake of this party, at the beginning of the episode, when she came into the condo and Miranda and Calvin looked like, two kids who were caught making out. It's like, instead of dancing around the subject, beating around the bush and rushing out of there to prevent Laura from going off, you could have just stopped right there and like, Laura, look, sorry for coming over unannounced, but we're trying to figure out Christian's birthday gift and we need your help too. So if you could please come over here, we're trying to figure out what to get him. That would have been great. Or after Miranda scurried out of there, Calvin giving the news to Laura about the party, the location and everything should have been like, well, Miranda and I were talking about what to get him, and we know he wants a cell phone, but we don't want to give him one. That could have been the catalyst for the conversation about what to and what to not get their son. But no. So when Laura is confused about the gift because she can't comprehend what she did wrong, that's when you had Janine start up. Yeah, that's right. A kid's too young to have cell phones because the twins want them, but we know that's a lot of trouble because, those phones can open a gateway and stuff. And then as the conversation went on, that's when Ella decided to chime in. Christian does not need a $1,600 phone. And it's like, that's something I had to deal with all the time with people saying you don't need this. Like, even when I started making money, it's like you don't tell me what I do and don't need. It's just one of those things where some people just hate to have you some people just, you could tell, hate when you have something. But like I said, that's something in relation to my life. I'm not trying to bleed it into the show, but I just wanted to, say that it was relatable. And it just felt like you could tell Laura was a ticking time bomb. And to have all these people siding with Calvin and Miranda, you could tell this was the fuel that Laura needed to once again justify, you know what, there you go, the family's jumping, ganging up on me yet again. And it's like, I didn't even want to come to this party, especially because it's over at your mama's house, but I came because I love your son, and I bought your son a gift because I love him, and now you're telling me my gift isn't right, so I'm out. And I'll do a separate video on how she left, but I think that the family didn't need to chime in. This was something that A, needed to be handled by the parents and Laura. B, this needed to be handled in a less public way. It's like, don't reprimand Christian for being excited, and don't reprimand Laura for getting the phone. Not in public, not like this. So I see what I am not saying Calvin and Miranda are wrong about their stance on the phone. I just think the situation was not handled properly at all. So yeah, the rest of the family chiming in didn't help. Neither did it work when Miranda asked if she was wrong for being mad about Laura up and leaving like that and causing the scene, only for the rest of the family to back her up. This is just a whole, it's always going to be Laura versus the family, no matter what. No matter what.